Good morning, hello, and happy Monday. I have been looking forward to continuing with this because I think after we got the user creation, then everything has been a little bit smoother now, which is nice. Esitsu, hello, good morning. How are you doing today, and how's your weekend? I started the server and I ran the tests right beforehand. And remembering that I think we created the middleware, but we didn't create what is this called? We did not create the actual endpoint, or rather, we didn't really like use it properly. I think it's sitting there doing nothing. Yeah, it's literally just sitting there doing nothing. But I believe that we now have the routes working properly. So here in router, yep, we have our middleware. I believe everything is working okay there. Okay, there. Nice weather over the weekend. If you like snow, I go back and forth on snow. Uh, it makes everything look so different, and I really like the sort of the summer look, and then the winter look sort of like comes in, and it makes it really nice. At the same time, it's really cold, and I can't go out bike riding or anything else without risk of like slipping and falling. So don't want to do that. It's like I go back and forth on snow. I like to look at it. How about that? But that's good. I'm glad it was nice for you. Um, okay, so let's. I guess we'll just jump into it, right? So we have our. Uh, we put in a cut. I don't remember exactly where that was, but I do. I'm gonna do the faded black thing, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So with that, do I have a slight? No, I. Okay, I was wondering if like right around here I had like a slight little line or something, but I don't see that in the OBS preview. Just in my stream preview. Weird. I'm right at the edge of the green screen right there, so sometimes I have to reposition it to make that go away. But I am not. Maybe that worked. Oh yeah, it looks like that worked. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, let's jump into it. So we're gonna finish up log out. All right, here we go. All right, I am back. It's been a few days, but let's finish up with log out. Right before I started recording, I took a look at where we were running the tests. So it looks like our middleware is all written now, which means that we need to update that logout function that we have here that's not doing anything. So, just to remind myself, we have where's our middleware for require authentication. You are putting a user. So it's going to insert this specific user, which is the user model, into an extension. So we can then extract that out in logout. So let's do that here. So I want extensions. This is going to be, I guess this is just a user, and it's going to be extension Now this is a model of a user, right? So it's going to be users model. Okay, what else do we need? We need the state to get the database. Uh, we do because we're going to update the user to remove the token. Okay, because that's what this test is yelling at us about right now is it's still finding the token inside the database. Okay, so we need state. This is going to be the DB, and that is a database connection. And is there anything else that we need here? I'm not. I don't remember if I need to respond to anything other than a status code, or like I guess a potential app error too. So let's go ahead and we'll probably want to respond with a yeah. We'll do a tuple, a status code, and wait, no. I want a result with a status code and an app error. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, so if we get to the end and everything's okay, well, that's going to be an okay with a status code. Okay. Yeah, okay, like that. All right, well, how do we get there, right? So if we got here already, we know we're logged in and we have access to this user. So we already know that. Then at that point, logging out is simply deleting the token so we can't find it in the database anymore. So we will just we need an active model for the user. So that let's shadow the user here. So user dot into active model. Expected tuple struct or tuple variant found struct extensions. Okay, so that's oh, is it extension? I probably wanted extension. Import you. Okay, there we go. Now we have user. We'll need to make you mutable. Okay, so we remove the token. We set it to null. So user dot token equals. We want to set. I don't see a set here. Import you. I want you to be. Is it going to be a none or is it going to be? Yeah, I think it's going to be just a none. Okay. And then we save it. So user dot save. Reference the DB. We await. We're going to map this error. Okay, so we'll eprint line error saving. I guess this is going to be error removing. Error removing token from user. And then we'll create a status code. No, an app error. All right, status code. This is an internal server error. So we shouldn't get it unless something goes wrong. And the message is going to be, there was a problem logging out. Please try again. Maybe it'll work then. Okay, so you're happy at this point. We then get all the okay, so that should do it. Let's find out if the test passed. Excellent. Okay, so that test passed. So now we have log out. Let's head into our test here, where we have this test only. I'm gonna remove you. So we'll test everything that we've done so far. Make sure we haven't regressed on anything. And yeah, everything is looking good so far. So we have sign up, cannot create multiple users with the same account. Okay, so everything's looking good. So that is handling our logout. Looks like coming up will be skipping. Oh no, getting error when using an authenticated route without a token, and using an authenticated route with a fake token. I should. Well, I will do that in the next video. So I will see you then. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye. All right. I don't think those are going to be very long. I think that video is. I think I might be able to do this with one video for both of these because I think it's going to be super short and it'll be like 1 minute videos then. I mean, I think so at least. But this is already just sort of focusing on log out, so this will make sense. Okay, let's warnings. Oh, I forgot to do the warnings. I'll do them next time. This is that. So maybe what exactly is this? This is getting an error when using an authenticated route without a token. So that is verifying, like verifying bad tokens, testing bad tokens. Okay, what was this called? This was logging out. Part two, really. Okay. So we'll enable those. We'll enable these tests. I might just enable both of them at the same time because they're really well. Maybe I'll just do one at a time. But I'll probably do both of them in the same video because I think they're going to be really short. All right, let's jump into it. Now that we've handled logging out, let's jump into these next two items in the entire auth section of our tests, which is we should get an error when using an authenticated route without a token. So if we don't send a token in at all, we should get at least a proper error message, and it shouldn't allow us. Now, I am fairly confident that the shouldn't allow us part is going to work just fine because we have that middleware that's trying to find that token. The question is the resulting code, like status code and message the right one? Let's find out. Let's put an only on this. And we'll run our tests. Okay, so we successfully got a 401, so that's correct. But we expected that the message would be not authenticated with an exclamation point, and we got missing authentication token. So really close. Let's copy you. Let's head into, this is going to be in our middleware. Let's go find that. So routes, okay. Our middleware. Okay, missing authentication token. I'm going to replace you with not authenticated. And let's try this test again. Okay, that passed. Excellent. What I want to do next is just move on to this next one because these are both, I think, fairly short. I'm going to remove you and change you to an only. Now this is, we should get an error when using an authenticated route with a fake token. So this should also fail to find it in the database because it's not going to be the same as the one we generated. So we got, let's see, so should go, we're in thing using a fake token. So we expected not authenticated, but we got bad or missing token. So really the same thing. We come back down to here. So we passed the header extract. And then we got here where we're finding based upon the token. And if we don't find it, we got bad or missing token. Where is that error message? Bad or missing token. Is that from, because I'm not seeing bad or missing token in here. Unless I'm just missing it. Let's find it. Bad or no. Okay, can't find it. Let's search the entire repo here. So bad or missing token. Oh yeah, it's in jot here. Okay, here's where our error is. Bad or missing token is inside of validate token here. And we want this to be the not authenticated one is. I think I still have this in my paste buffer. So we will do that, hit save. And let's try you. Excellent. Okay, so the test passed. Let's go ahead and take off the only and run with all the user cred tests. Okay, looks like they all passed. Yeah, I love the green check marks across everything. Okay, so one last thing before we mark all of user cred done and ready to move on to the task cred, we want to handle any of the warnings we have. Looks like we have two of them. So we have this unused import extensions because I accidentally wrote extensions instead of extension. So let's go ahead and delete you. Unused variable claim. Okay, so we take in a claim and we return true. What are we doing here? So invalidate token, right? Because we don't really care what's inside the claim. We don't necessarily even know what's inside the claim. Like I think they require it to be like the username, but I don't actually have access to that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just underscore that. And we're just validating the token, has the right hash value. Okay, that's that. Let's run the tests again, just in case any of those changes broke anything. It's a good habit. You're all good. Everything passed here. So I'm gonna close out all of these. Gonna mark you as done, and we're going to git commit. This is we have I guess we're handling those logout was last one. This is we're handling bad tokens. And you're not saved. you in, commit you, and I can sync that up. All right. And that's it. As I mentioned, that is handling user CRUD. All of these tests are passing, so as long as we don't regress, everything is going to be good, which means in the next videos, we're going to be moving on to tasks. I can't wait, and I will see you there. Bye. Okay. User CRUD is done. How much? That was 6 minutes. Okay, not terrible, but this was, I'll call it testing bad tokens, or handling bad tokens, I think is right. Handling bad tokens. And everything is ready to go. So what was next? Next is going to be creating a task. So we should be able to create a task. We should not be able to create a task when not logged in. And we cannot create a task without all required data. Okay, I think also, so I'm gonna do this as creating a task. I think for you, if I leave you all as like ready to go, because this is inside of a describe, I think I can do a only on you for task CRUD, and then an only on you, and then remove these two, right? I want to say that that's going to make it so that only those tests run, right? It does. Okay, excellent. Now, if I take off this only, and I put just an only on here, how about that? Oh yeah, that works. That works exactly as you would expect. Okay, cool. Let's revert you. And we're going to jump right into creating a new task. Okay, let's do it. I guess let me run this again, so we'll start here. In the last series of videos, we were able to finish the user CRUD, and now we're going to move on to actually creating the task. So the task CRUD. Now this is broken out into a couple different describes. So we had just a single describe inner test for just all of user CRUD, and that was a big, huge thing, and we created several videos across that all. But now we have a describe for task CRUD, and then several different describes for tests underneath that. So the first one here is going to be creating a task. So let's go and enable all three of these tests at the same time. So inner API test, I want to go find the task CRUD. I'm not going to put a skip or anything else on the user test. We're just going to put an only on this describe create a task. And when I do that, it's going to automatically skip the user ones and only do the create ones for us. So let's go ahead and rerun this. I need to not skip these two. Let's see, test CRUD, describe only create a task. Okay, I need to remove that skip, remove that skip, and that skip. Okay, Let's save you, and let's try this again. There we go. That's what I was expecting. So we are successfully skipping our user's CRUD tests, and we are only running the create task tests, and all three of them are failing, of course. Let's jump into this first one here. So should be able to create a task. So, well, it's running into a 404. So if we take a look at that, so should be able to create a task. It is attempting to go to create a task, which is a post to our base URL, so API v1 tasks, and that is going to be a post. So let's go create a route for that. So under routes, I'm going to create a new folder for tasks. Let's put a mod in there. Okay. Can close you down for the second, for a time being. All right, so this is going to be create task. RS, and let's mod you. And in here, let's create just like a 200, just sort of like a plain basic route handler. So pub async function, create task. You'll come in like that, and let's get you added in. Okay, so in our routes, where do we want to put this? So routes, we have, okay, users here. We'll do tasks, create task. I want to put that above this middleware because we have to be authenticated to create a task. So do a route slash API v1 tasks. Our method router, this is going to be a post to create task. Okay. Expected comma, not a semicolon. All right, all right. Let's, okay, so we should be able to get beyond that next part of the test now. So instead of a 404, we should now get something else. Okay, so should be able to create a task. Okay, so we get a result that created task. Okay, so the result from this, we should be able to get an ID. So we're missing a task ID. Also, we need to know what type of task we're taking in, don't we? Let's ask you. Where is that? That's, oh, this is all user CRUD. Okay, so task CRUD. Here's our new task. So we have priority, title, and description. So that's what we're taking in, at least to begin with. So let's create that in mod here. I'm going to have my types, just like with users. This is going to be a request task. This should be a struct request task. We are going to derive serialize, deserialize. I don't know if we need anything else on it right now. Request task. Okay. We have priority, title, and description. Let's just take all of you and throw you in here. Okay. These all need to be public, I believe. All right. Priority. That's going to be a string, right? Now, it could potentially be a character, but this not a character in the database. I believe this is like a varchar 4 or something like that, which does mean if I try to pass in a character, I don't think that'll work. I think I have to pass it in a string. So therefore, you're a string. Priority. Now, the other thing is we don't necessarily know that, I don't think the priority is required. So maybe this should be an option. All right, title is absolutely required, and this is going to be a string. Description is optional, but is also going to be a string. So an option string. Okay, that's what we're going to be taking in. Let's head into our create task here. Okay, so we know we're going to take in, well, definitely the state. And I think we're going to need the user here too to associate the task with the specific user. So we know we're going to have the extension, so singular, like last time when I use extensions. We'll have our user, that is extension, and that's a model from user. Okay. Now we're also working with tasks here, so I'm going to rename this. So users model as user model. User model. There we go. We need our database. That's going to be a state. State DB. It's going to be a state with a database connection. Okay. We also need the JSON coming in. So that's going to be the request user. So we want JSON. This is going to be the request user. And that's going to be a JSON request user. So mods task. Oh, request task. Not request user. We want request task. There. Request task. There we go. Okay. So we take you in. That has to be the end one. We are going to return a result with a status code. Well, is that true? I don't think so. We're going to return a result. We're creating something, so we want to do a status code of 201, which is different than a 200. So that's going to be what? A tuple. I think we can maybe just do like a response. And an app error. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, expecting result. Oh, we're not returning anything. So if we get to this point, we do know that we want to return the actual thing, but if I just return a status code, that should be okay right now. So let's return an okay status code of created. There we go. Mismatch type expected a, ooh, okay. Do I want to do something like that impulse a response? I don't think I can do that. Oh, expected a trait found a type alias response. Ooh, yeah, okay. So I don't think I want to do that exactly. What did I do in my, was it middleware? I don't remember if it was the middleware for this. Oh, it returns this response which we get in, which is not exactly the same as what we're doing right now. So now I do know that we can return a tuple. So instead of this, we could return a tuple. And the first thing would be a status code. And the second thing would be what, like the actual user we're responding with. We know we're responding with users. So let's go ahead and create that too. So pub struct response task. Keep on going back to user. We're going to derive, serialize, and deserialize. We know we need things like the ID. So that's the pub ID is going to be an I64, I believe. We're probably going to need the title that's required, and a pub description, which is going to be an option string. Okay. We'll start with those. Okay, so then this is going to be a JSON with the response task. There we go. That being said, I don't have that other one yet, do I? So we'll just go ahead and do the to-do for now. Okay, so we've gotten past, so we have access to the user, we have access to our DB, we have access to our request user. Great, let's go ahead and create a new task. So that's gonna create new task equals. I guess this doesn't need to be mute, although we can also by there's a couple ways we could do this. I'm gonna do new task equals, it's gonna be tasks from the database. We want an active model. If we fill the match, okay, that gives me this. Okay, ID. So that's gonna be part of the default. So I'm going to default that. Okay, priority. We know we're accepting the priority in this one, so we want to set you. That I believe is an option in the database. So we're going to do a set. Okay, import you. That's going to be a sum. Although, do I have to make it a sum? Because I already have an option. I might be able to just take this from request user dot priority. Title needs to be a string, so that's going to be a set, and then request user dot title. Completed at. This should be the default, which should be a none. Description, we have that one. This is going to be a set. Request user dot description. Deleted at. Again, we're not going to create deleted ones. User ID. Right, everything. Oh, I think this is an option too. So yeah, we have a sum. Oh, it's an I32, not an I62. This is an I32. Okay, a sum. This is going to be the user.id. Okay. Is default. This is definitely going to be false, right? Because when a user is creating a task, it's not a default task. It's going to be, well, just their own task. So that's going to be a set to an option bool. So now I think this is a none. I think we want to set it to none. It feels weird, right? Because I'm not setting it to like some false. I'm setting it to none, so it's null. And the rest is default. So actually, is default can probably be set to that in the rest of the, okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so we've created our new task. I want to save it now. So new task dot save. And it referenced the DB. We do want access to this new task, so that this is now just going to be the task. We have to await you. We're going to map error. All right. Well, eprint line. We have error, creating new task. We will create an app error. So this should be an internal Okay, this should be an internal error. If we get to this point, right? Because if it fails in like the JSON destructuring, that's going to be like a 400 or so, I believe. We'll see though. Okay, so status code. This is not bad request. This is internal server error. And our message is error creating task. We'll see if we have another error we have to do. Okay, so that gives us an active model. And now I want to turn this into just a model. And I remember that there was a way to do that, and I completely forget what that was. That was not like an as model. There was, try into model. Try into model. That gives us another result, so we can do another map error. So let's see, that's going to be error. Let's see, print line this. Okay, so this is error converting task after creating it. And we'll create an app error new. This definitely is an internal error. Okay, this is error creating task again. Okay, we now have our task as a model. Okay, which means I can now create a response task. And I also remember that in the test, it's looking for this. Let's see, where exactly is that? Data.data. It's looking for in data. Now we're using Axios behind the scenes. And I just happen to know that Axios adds a data in on its own. So an extra data is from us. So just like with the user, we're going to want, so we have a response task. We have just like a response. So I'm going to do a pub struct response data task. That's going to take in a pub data, which then is going to have the response task inside of it. All right, let's derive serialize and deserialize. Okay, there we go with you. So this response is actually not going to be the response task. This is going to be the response data task. But we do want to create the response task here. So let's do that. So that so response is going to be equal to, okay, so response task. All right, ID. This is going to be the task.id. Title, task.title, and description. Okay, you're all happy. Then at the very end, we're going to return. Okay, now we can finally do that. Okay, so if things are good, we're going to get a tuple. Inside the tuple, we're going to get the status code of created. Otherwise, no. Also with it, we're going to get the message, which is going to be a JSON. We are going to get a response data task with the data being the response. All right, we don't have any errors, but that was a lot of code. Let's see if this works. So should be able to create a task. Hey, that's one of these. Although strangely, should be able to create a task is still failing. We passed one of these other ones though. Should not be able to create a task when not logged in. Okay, well that's working because of that middleware. So should be able to create a task. What happened here? Oh, we expected this to be an A. We received undefined. So okay, we successfully got the task back. But the priority isn't correct. So this is data. So priority in here. So you are. Oh yeah, I forgot the priority. Priority. That's going to be an option with a string inside. Priority is going to be task dot priority. Okay, let's try this again. It still failed. What happened? Okay. Oh, yeah. So we got the priority now. We got the title correct. We're missing completed at. And then we can see some of the other ones coming up here too. So let's handle those. So we have pub completed at. That should be well, that's going to be an option, right? And I think it's going to come in as a string, or we can do it as potentially a date time. Let's try a string. We also have the description. Okay, we have that one coming up. We expect you not to have the property user ID, and we expect you not to have the property is default. Okay, so just that one. All right. Completed at. So we want you to be task.completed at. Mismatch types expected an enum string found a chrono date time fixed offset. I wonder if I can turn this into a string here too. Although, because you're an option at this point in time, we're gonna have to map you, aren't we? So map. So we have this time, and I want to turn like time to string. See if that's the right type of string. Hey, that was the right type of string. So we should be able to create a task. We should not be able to create a task when not logged in. Excellent. We cannot create a task without all required data. So right now, if we're missing data from this, expected missing task title. Okay, so if we're missing the task title, we just received undefined, but we want to have a missing task title here. So, how are we gonna handle this? Right now, we're having JSON just attempt to extract out what that data is, and I think if we're missing that, I think that gives us a 500. Oh, and the 400 right here, it's going to be a 500, I believe, internally as it crashes. Okay, so we probably, unfortunately, need to create a custom extractor for this. Okay, so we need a custom extractor to get the tasks. So let's create a new one. This is going to be a get maybe new or create task. Now, is it no? Because like when we do updates or something, then I need, yeah, it should be like a create task extractor. Press, okay. It's gonna be a mod, create task extractor. All right. Now, it has been a little bit of time since we did that lesson on custom extractors, and we have Axum 0.6. Let's go take a look at this. So we're going to go to crates, Axum. I want extractors. Okay, so see extract for more details and extractors. I want a defining custom extractors. Okay, so you can also define your own extractors by implementing either from request parts or from request. Implement from request parts if your extractor doesn't need access to the request body. I do need access to the entire request body, so we're going to do from request. If your extractor needs to consume the request body, you must implement from request. Okay, excellent. So it's going to be some kind of struct with this, and then for a validated body. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Before we get too far in, let's create the struct. So pub struct. This is going to be I mean, it's like, I guess it's validate. So validate new task or create task. And you have this coming in as bytes here. Do we need that? I'm not 100% sure that we need the bytes. So validated body, where are we using like self with like 0? I'm not seeing that. Oh, that body equal bytes from request. Map error and response. Okay, self body. Do I want that to be bytes or do I want that to just be the body? I don't know if I need other things. Most of the time your request body type will be body body. So my body B. Oh, which has to be like a custom type, which we don't know. Okay. We don't need to do anything else. Okay, so let's try this for a second, and we'll see how it feels. I think I might need to add in something else, and we can go check the lesson too, if we really need to. Okay, so we're gonna do impl from request for validate create task. We also need, let's see, where was it? It was near the top. Okay, so we had where is body wrapping extractors, common extractors? Okay, so implement from request. Oh, defining custom. There we go. Implementing from request parts, and we want from request here. This from request, we might need to go into it. But okay, so you're gonna, oh, so they're using this async trait here. Async trait is Oh, from Axum. Okay, so we can do that. Impl S and B. So I believe that's going to be send and sync. It's state. Okay, so we have state and B is the body probably. So S and B from request. So impl, we have S and B. That's the wrong. We want that S, B. Okay. For this thing, let's implement you. Okay, type rejection. Let's make this an app error. Okay. We have no errors right now, so that's a good sign. Okay, so we have a request coming in, which is this Axum HTTP request B. We have our state, which is this life 0 S. Okay. They do this core pin. I wonder if because I forgot to do the async trait. Let's see, that was above the impl. Let's bring you in. Import you. I'm going to delete the contents of this body, and we're going to try again. So save you. Oh, you don't. Okay. So Rust Analyzer can't actually auto-complete this for me anymore. Well, that's fine. Let's restrict these with some wheres. Bytes. Okay, so you need. Where do bytes come from? Oh, bytes was this thing. It's from. Okay, so we need bytes here. Okay. Oh, no. The bytes didn't need to be that thing. This is coming from Axum, isn't it? Import bytes from Axum body bytes. Okay, missing missing that rejection. Okay, so let's come down here. Let's copy all of you. Okay, rejection equals response. It could. I'm just going to make it specifically an app error though. Okay, from request. You need that type. So import request. Import into response. Couldn't convert the error to an app error, so we have to do a map error. Oh, we already have this. Map error into response. So I'm going to do a custom one here. So we have our error coming in. So this is, let's do our ePrint line. So this is going to be error. Now what is happening? This is getting the bytes. So getting bytes in custom create task extractor. And okay, pass in the error. And then we're gonna create a new app error. Okay, our status code is gonna be this is probably an internal server error. And our message is just some generic, like, internal server error. Okay, so we're happy there. This error doesn't implement debug. Oh, well, that's a first. That's a first for us. So this error doesn't implement a debug. Well, that's too bad. Can we like toString this? Oh, there's no toString on it. Oh, that's really too bad. So I think in that case, I can't really debug this out. So I'm just going to leave that as the ePrint line. And I'll underscore this error, and we'll have to figure out, if this happens, we'll have to figure out how to read that error later. Okay, so we're now at this point. So the body is in bytes though. And it's like, just do the validation, which is not really all that helpful. We want to, let's see, we want to grab the information, like we want to grab the body. Let's see, bytes from request. Now, I think it actually said, like, can we do an extractor in here? Like a JSON extractor? Yes, this one doesn't have a tuple type on it. I wonder if I could do like JSON in that. So let's see, rejection, infallible. We have that async trait. From request B. Okay, so we do that. But again, it's not doing anything in here yet. Accessing other extractors and from request. Okay, this is what we want. So this is from request parts. Is it going to be the same? When defining custom extractors, you often need to extract. Where would that be? So, like, here's header. Okay, equals typed header from request. So equals typed header authorization bearer from request parts, which is this same function. Extension state parts. Oh, this parts. Oh, right, but that's just parts. I want the other thing, which they don't have. Request body extractors. Doesn't have as much. It's like body streams coming in and then running the extractors. So I don't think I can add in. Let's find out. So if I just try to throw in like a JSON here. So we use Axum JSON. Oh wait, no. We just don't use bytes, right? So we then say, oh, JSON from request, don't we? JSON from request state, and so this is body is going to be JSON. Mismatch types expected. Okay, let's throw a to do in here. JSON. So we probably need the type that you are. This is going to be, but we're going to run into the problem where we don't know exactly what, like, I don't want it to have the error yet. I want like just the body. So that's just this JSON, right? So I need, we might need to go back and take a look at what we did last time. So not back, not project, in data. We had our source, we had our routes, our custom JSON extractor. What did we do here? So we had our async trait. We had where HTTP bodies send static. Okay, so we had a little bit more going on here. We didn't have the bytes thing. Okay, so type rejection. This is essentially the app error. Async function from request. Okay, so we did a request and state. That was it. Equals this result rejection. Let JSON. Aha. Okay, so it was JSON user request user. Oh, and then we're using this validation library, which I completely forgot that we had. This validation library is from this called a validator. So we want to use that instead of just plain old Serde. So we need to go grab that. It creates, what is it, validator. Validator, that's it exactly. Okay, let's pull this in. Let's see, this is backend test. Let's create another terminal for project solution. Cargo add validator. Now, we probably want to derive. I probably want to derive. Yeah, we're going to want derivable impulse so we can do this type of stuff. So we're going to do a -f for derive, which also brings in the validator derive. Excellent. We don't need phone number, and I don't think we need the UNIC. So that should be good for this. Okay, so we want to validate. Or was this? This was in data. We want to source, routes, tasks, custom one. Okay, so we're going to need to create a custom new struct for what's coming in with this, which I think is replacing this one. Let's go take a look at what we did before. So in here, we have this request user, which is exactly what we're inputting off of that. And we're deriving deserialize, debug, and validate on it. Okay, so we're going to do that. So this is not just validate, create task. I'm going to change you to be, this is validate. Well, actually, you know what? That is validate, create task. I don't need this bytes, though. I do need this to be an actual struct with stuff inside of it, don't we? So what do we need coming in? Well, let's go take a look at in mod, in request task. We need you. Throw you in there. Okay, so we have you coming in. If we take a look at our validator, debug, validate, and deserialize. So we'll derive debug. Now we don't really need debug unless I want to print this out to the screen, but maybe we do. Validate and deserialize. For each of these, we want to do this something like validate email for if it's an email address. Okay, so priority right now is just a string, right? So for a string, we want to validate length minimum 1. So for priority, it's probably like combination 2. I don't need a custom one either. I don't need to sort of rename this either. I just want this, the length. Okay, so priority, validate, length. Min 1, and then can I do max equals 1, 2? So priorities, they're just one character. Okay. Let's see, length. Okay, that seems to be fine. Title. We need you to be there, but maybe you need to be an option here so we can handle that properly. So you're an option like that. We'll do a validate. All right. What are you going to be? I want you to be, I I guess like it's required. How do I say that you're the validate method returns a result in the case. Oh, I think I don't need to do anything special. I don't think I need to make this an option. I think it will figure it out. So we don't have like a minimum number of characters or anything else. The title can be whatever. And then the description is also an option, okay, of a string. I think that's going to be fine. Okay. So we have you coming down. Now this next part, okay, so we're missing something. So we don't need this bytes. We do need something else. So if we take a look at our custom JSON extractor again, we had the B is HTTP body. Now the reason for that is because we did the request extract. Okay, so that's how we got stuff out of it. And then it yelled at us because we needed all of these things. So I'm just gonna take you, replace all of you with that. And we're just going to start over with this. So we're going to it was like the JSON body. So we can do that as a request.extract. There we go, extract. What do you take in? Apply an extractor to this request. Doesn't really say anything in here. I think that we can do just a JSON user, or is it JSON type, which is going to be what? This is this validate create task. It seems like it's not happy with this. Let me see. Let's go back and take a look at it. What did I do? I did let JSON user. Oh, it's a turbofish syntax. That's what I need to do. Turbofish syntax. And so it's let JSON user equals. Oh, and this is the request user that we're getting out. I don't need to do that. We should have the user as a middleware. Probably put it in there. It's not in the. It's in the layer, so we can grab it out that way. So we grab you out. Oh, we just have our errors that come in, and the errors are available. We run validate on user, don't we? From this. Oh, and this was validating a user like this. Okay, so never mind. We do need to do this. So this can be let JSON equal. Okay, so let JSON equals request.extract, and then we extract that. Okay, so let's do. Okay, this is gonna be let. This is gonna be a new task, right? So let JSON task equals request.extract. I don't need to do that entire thing. We're turbofish. This is going to be JSON with the validate create task, which probably could also be a self. You need another thing there. All right. Expected a semicolon. Okay. Cannot find HTTP body. Import you and import you. Mismatch types, expected struct. Pin, so we have to await you. Expected result with this. Okay, so we have to map error. I will do an ePrint line. This is error extracting, I guess like new task. We'll create a new app error with a status code of this should be an internal server error. And this is just like something generic went wrong. Okay, there we go. Now we have our task, which is this validate create task, which means I can now do the validation, which I believe we can do with just running validate on it. So we can do something like task.validate. That returns a result. Now with nothing on it if it went okay, and only bad things if it went bad. So, okay, how do we do this? This returns this, and then a validator validation errors. Okay, so then if let errors error. Okay, so we extract you out. If we have these errors, we're going to do an early return, but we probably want to set our return code appropriately depending upon what this is. Now, I don't know exactly what you are. If I try to just like send this back, I don't think it'll work the way we expect it to. Test-wise, what are we expecting? Okay, so if we're missing task title, if like the title was not there. So what's that? Missing task title. We should probably just try debugging it with these errors. And we'll just let it crash with that to do. That'll be fine. Back into here. We'll run an npm test and go take a look at this. As soon as we hit this debug, we should see something printed out. Maybe. You failed. You know, putting the extractor into use might be helpful. So we have this validate create task. And where are you? This is going to go into create task. This consumes the body. So I do want it to eventually this says request user again. That's wrong. I'm gonna want to make this like a request a validate create task like that. Oh, and this is gonna be maybe like task, something like that. Request task. Let's not worry about any of this. I'll just throw a to do. That'll make it compile at least. All right, test again. There we go. Okay, so we get this. There it is. Missing field title. We have that. Okay, so now that we can see exactly what this is, we should be able to create the custom error message and send that back if we're missing the field title or whatever else we're missing. Okay, so we had to cheat a little bit, but we're getting there. I do need to put a cut in though because I'm running out of time and I need to head off to work for today's session. So we'll put in a cut and then we'll continue working on this in a little bit. So see you in a second. All right. Thank you for that, Isitsu. I totally forgot how much things are different based on like just getting the request out directly. Completely forgot that. Probably should have referenced that ahead of time. But this one I'm okay with showing like my mistakes and everything else. It's part of what the full solution is for. Is it's okay to go look at the lessons we did beforehand. That's fine. All right. So I want to. This is, I guess, like creating tasks, part one. Okay. That's good there, and I think we're good here. I will, I guess, commit these. This is our work in progress, creating tasks. Man, typing today has been hard. I don't know why. And I'll push that up. All right. So, I will be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Yes. So I should be back tomorrow morning to continue working on this. We'll get the creating task done and then start moving on to the next thing. So all of you, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, be it morning, evening, or night. And I will see you next time. Bye.